As the opening credits make clear, the magic of Pippin wouldn't exist if it weren't for the contributions of many different people. But the late legendary director and choreographer Bob Fosse is the man who brought Pippin to life on stage and on video. Bob Fosse is the creative genius behind many major musical hits like Chicago and Sweet Charity and Cabaret. And he is the man who choreographed his own sense of what dying would be like in the award-winning movie All That Jazz in 1980, 6 years before his own death from a heart attack in 1986. Fosse was a complex man of the theater who didn't give many interviews. Back in the 80s, though, Fosse did consent to talk with me about the nature of his genius and his chain-smoking workaholic lifestyle.
Has it been worth it for you in your own...
Wow, that's a tough question. I certainly have received a lot of benefit from it. I like my life. I think that I would be better off if I could get away from work sometimes and not let it eat at me and not be so obsessed with it. But it doesn't happen.
I'm sorry, I need it one more time, please. Same thing.
I'm happiest when I'm rehearsing. I'm happiest in places like this.
When you saw that this driven kind of life was driving you almost to the point of physical extinction, though, did that freak you out at all and make you kind of reevaluate?
I don't know. I think a lot of us have this sense of immortality. It's not going to happen to us, you know. It's going to happen to the guy in the next bed or the guy on the other side, but it's not going to happen to you.
Is it any good when they start the second part?
Parts of it.
Yeah. Like anyone else, I'm afraid of failure, although I don't think that's the major thing. And afraid that the ideas that I have, I don't have the talent to execute.
Can we try the whole shot once?
I think I would like to do better things, better quality things, more important things, and at the same time there's a fear that I don't have the equipment, the talent, the intelligence to bring them off.
You still have that fear, having proven and overcome that question so many times? Cabaret, Lenny, All That Jazz, and Sweet Charity.
I don't know how it works on other people, but it's just, yes, I do. You know, like Chaplin said, all of us are amateurs. None of us live long enough to be anything else. But every time I start on something new, it's like day one. How do we do this? I mean, and in dancing, it should be easy. You got a left foot and a right foot. You say, well, you got to step off on one of those. The decision shouldn't be that hard to make.
Yeah, it's one or the other. Right?
Yeah. So I roll the dice and I say, right foot. Here we go.
But you've proven so many times already. I mean, it's up there. It's on film. It's been on stage. The proof of your talent and expertise and overwhelming skill it seems manifest. Huh?
Let me ask you, how many directors, choreographers you've seen have brilliant shows or movies, and then the next 8 things they do are right down the drain? I mean, this business is loaded with such stories, isn't it? It could happen. It could happen to me easily.
Do you have any real regrets about any of it, the life of obsession and compulsion?
I've learned to live with it, you know. At my age, you can't alter your behavior that much, I don't think. I mean, I try, but I don't think I can. So the best thing is to say, well, this is what I have, and this is the kind of person I am, so I guess I'll live the rest of my life that way.
And he did continue living that way. Even heart attacks, hospitals, and doctors' warnings couldn't stop Bob Fosse from pursuing the perfection of whatever creative vision he was possessed by.
I'm sorry, I need it one more time, please. Same thing.
That pursuit of perfection brought Bob Fosse many awards over the years, but he was most touched when All That Jazz won the Cannes Film Festival Grand Prize, as presented by Dirk Bogarde and Kirk Douglas.
The Palme d'Or executor, Bob Fosse's All That Jazz.
It was Fosse's self-examination in All That Jazz through the obsessed choreographer character Joe Gideon, played by Roy Scheider, that also brought repeated questions at the Cannes press conference about the movie being self-indulgent.
20 minutes of dance dedicated to Joe Gideon's death. If I were to choreograph my own, I think it would be longer.
It's showtime, folks.
The identification with Joe Gideon is certainly true, but I think any director identifies with all the characters in every theatrical venture he does.
So All That Jazz has made it to the French Riviera, and it really is surprising for me to learn that this is actually your first trip to the Cannes Film Festival. A man of your esteemed background in the world of cinema, with films like Cabaret, and Lenny was even a big contender in the festival one year. I would have thought that you might have been here before, but you haven't.
I wanted to come in '75 when Lenny was here. And as I don't know if you remember, but Valerie Perrine won a prize that year. But that was the year I was sick and I was in the hospital when it happened. So I would get daily reports from here, but this is my first visit.
That's right. That was the year you were actually living the story that became the story for All That Jazz, right?
Well, part of it, anyway.
Yeah.
Fosse was glad he made it to Cannes because the festival audience gave All That Jazz a very unusual standing ovation.
My entire life, I don't think I've ever been around a response like that at the end of the film. It was, it makes all this stuff that you go through in show business and trying so desperately to get something on and you believe in it, it makes it all worthwhile suddenly. In 2 minutes, it's something, well, I'm glad I did it.
You ain't seen nothing yet, folks. So join us, sit where everybody can see. We got magic to do, just for you. We got miracle plays to play. We got hearts to perform, hearts to warm, kings and things to take by storm as we go along our way. Gotta find my corner of the. Well, I'll sing you a story of a sorrowful lad. Had everything he wanted, didn't want what he had. He had wealth of wealth and name and fame and all of that noise. He didn't have none of those simple joys. His life seemed purposeless and flat. Aren't you glad you don't feel like that? I went to war.
Men and their wars. Sometimes I think men raise flags when they can't get anything else up. Everybody, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's time. Come on, everybody. That goes you two. Sing. Give and take high, must rebuild to fall in just no time.
All right, I know this is a musical comedy, but I want my life to mean something. You pull through in just a while, 'cause you're on. Come here. Right track on the. Yeah, babe. Right track. Take it easy. On the. Right track. Seaside. On the. Take it easy. Right track. Seaside. Take it easy. Why be glory, luster? You keep those hopes alive. You keep cool as custard. Right for that stepping song. There's no trick to staying sensible, despite it. All this that.
Oh, that would be a little closer. To the promised land.
They were struck by a love song. Sitting on the floor and talking till dawn.
Candles and confidences.
And the angels of the morning are calling out your name. Think about the sun.
More lights, perhaps.
You want more lights? Let's get this angel.
Think about your life, think about the dreams.